Testing 1, 2, 3. All right, we're going to get started here in just a few minutes. Can everybody hear me fine? Is volume on my side good and whatnot? All right, cool. Let's go ahead and kick it off. This is the AYN Odin. Just got it today. I've been eagerly tracking it as it made its way across most of the world, I was expecting it to come in on Tuesday, but I got lucky and got it a few days early. So I figured I'd do everybody a favor and open it up on stream, get an idea what the cold gray looks like versus the black we saw with Stubbs. I also got the dock because he's waiting for his on the light he ordered. And I am so very excited about this. Okay. So this is what the inside of the box looks like. Here is the Super Dock. I'm going to kind of unpack everything and then I'll put it back on the table so we can look at it all together. There's the Odin itself. That's the main thing here, All right. So we have the Odin. We have the Super Dock. We got the bag, which is actually feels pretty good. Doesn't feel super cheap. I have a few wall adapters for plugs. So I got some earphones, which I probably won't use, but we'll look at those as well. And of course, the wall charger. And then last but not least, a high quality HDMI cable. So let's go and take a look at the dock first. We've already seen an Odin. Let's open the dock and see what it looks like. All right. Let's see. So that's the dock itself. Let's see what other packaging is in here first. Looks like we got some little pads, I guess for make sure it sits firmly or something. We'll figure that out later. I have a manual, of course, showing how everything works. Let's see, it does have English and a warranty information there as well. Yeah, just going to go over the basic stuff there. Got a USB-C to USB-C charger. That's actually pretty nice. I don't have many of those, oddly enough. And then, of course, a 65-watt wall charger. This thing feels pretty nice, actually. They didn't cheap out on the charger like I kind of thought they might. Yeah, you would, of course, use that with one of these guys. To get you a good charging block. Yep, so I can use that as a charger. See this out of the way, and we'll actually take a look at the dock itself. I'm curious how that feels. Yeah, the dock originally was supposed to have a 45-watt charger, but their social provider on that kind of didn't, come through. So they ended up going with a 65-watt, which is really just fantastic. A lot of companies would have either not included one, or they would have gone with something like a smaller, or maybe just a different block entirely. But AYN has done great so far on that. that front. So this is the dock itself. Take a look at the front. So you have the N64 ports, which actually have N64 controllers we're going to try out today. You have two USB 3.0 ports up front. Got a GameCube port and HDMI out. This is for this small little micro HDMI in up here. That's so that the Odin Lite users can still use the dock because it doesn't have the display port out across the USB-C at the bottom here. So they had to do a little bit of work around there to make that work. On the back side, we of course have a Ethernet jack, 3 more USB 3.0s, HDMI out, and of course the charging for the USB-C on this end. Other side, we have the second GameCube port. If you look at the bottom here, it actually has some decent looking vents. You can actually even see some of the board under there, which is kind of cool. But I do like the fact they actually have this in here, rather than just having a flat bottom, as it makes it, of course, breathe better. So one cool thing about the dock is that this front plate does come off, supposedly. I'm not going to try not to break it. It has some slight give. You got to kind of pull a little bit. That's actually good. It's not going to just fall out, which is nice. So it has these two little tabs. It looks like it kind of locks it on the side there a little bit. So this is actually great if you happen to be at your desk, like I plan on being. You can kind of have your Odin up. I have a Bluetooth controller, and still use the touchscreen. So that's going to be pretty handy, honestly. Going to take this plastic off of the screen on the dock and see how easy it is to get that put back in. That wasn't it goes there nicely. Yeah. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to step away and go grab my iFixit toolkit. I'm going to go and pop this guy open and see what the inside of that looks like. Give me just 1 second here. So one thing that I really actually liked about the dock idea is that they actually include a 2.5-inch drive bay on the back. So you can use like an SSD or one of those more slim looking hard drives and use that to be able to plug in more storage, which is actually great for your PS2 or GameCube games, because those take a lot of space, as we know, and there's not a lot of space on these guys even when you include an SD card. I can get the right bit here. Let's see how this works. Yeah. There we go. So we just have these 4 screws. They are actually pretty long. They don't seem to be self-tapping, which is actually really nice, which means you have a better chance of not stripping them. They're not really weak, it feels, which is super nice too. It's not a lot of these devices. You try to open them up and stripping your screws and you're kind of screwed at that point. So that's nice. As far as the wafer not working on the dock, I think that's probably a power draw issue. They probably didn't really test this thing thoroughly as far as that goes. They probably tested to make sure that the GameCube controller itself would work. But I'm curious if there's just like a workaround. Now, getting this off isn't easy. There's not really a tab. One thing I actually did is just notice that they actually does say AYN there as a nice touch. It's not super noticeable. Let's see. There we go. So it feels like it does have some clips. Okay. So there are a couple clips. They're kind of positioned up, so I don't really think a guitar pick would actually help there. But they go into these spots right here. So when you pull yours off, just kind of pull just to the right and left and middle to get it on there. But here is the inside of that. It has just a standard SATA connector right there. I might have a hard drive around to test that out with. We'll actually need to check and see. If I do, I'll test it out today too. But that's what the inside looks like. That's like get it off. Just gonna get it back on. Make sure everything clips in this place nicely. It does actually. Nice and flush again. We'll finish looking at all the accessories. Once we look at all the accessories, I will bust out the Odin itself. I'm going to kind of save the main event for last. The screen does currently stay on when you plug it into the dock. There was an option at one point based on their screenshots to turn that off when it was docked. But we don't seem to have that same firmware on ours. Hopefully they do implement that back in, because otherwise the processor is actually overworking itself trying to display two screens instead of just one. So I've seen people mention that they have some performance drops on the dock because it's displaying to your TV and to your Odin itself. We'll kind of test it out and see how that looks if we get a chance today here. Okay. Get that back together. We can go ahead and set the dock to the side for all moments. This, of course, is the dock charger. Not a huge fan of this. I might get a second one that is actually US based, because you do have to have this on here. And it just makes it huge, bigger than it already was. This cable actually does feel pretty nice, to be honest. Doesn't feel cheap. It's nice and thick. Connectors aren't slidey like some of the ones I found too. So that's good. Let's go and take a look at these headphones here. I don't expect a lot from these, but you know what? They're included, so we're going to check them out. Yeah, as far as the video staying on when it's docked, that can be fixed and update most likely. We'll just need to wait and see how that goes. So these are, am I saying this wrong? Pison, I don't know. Brand earphones. They're the same brand that does the chargers and whatnot. Let's see. These are very much AirPod style. Let's see. I hate how they tend to wrap these things around so well sometimes. So they actually wrapped them in different directions. No, okay, I just had to chart the volume control in the way. There we go. Sound test. I don't know if I can do a sound test. I can use one earphone. I have one earphone in, so I can hear myself and make sure I sound good on my end. But I can put one of these in when I get to that. They look a little thick, to be honest. They probably won't be super comfortable for a lot of people, unless you have like larger ears, maybe. And they feel not super premium, but not bad though. They're not bad at all. Like if these are your only headphones, they'll work for sure. The device does have Bluetooth. It is an Android phone. For the most part, whatever an Android phone can do, this thing can do as well, and in some ways, maybe better. Some ways, probably worse. You know, it has a few downsides there, but otherwise, you'll get the same experience you have on a phone. Yeah, you know, if you were buying this for the earphones, you know, you might need to reevaluate your purchase. Let's go ahead and check out this little charger. Let's go ahead and get this cut. All right. Yeah, this is just your standard charging block, 2.5 watt. This is really meant for the Odin itself. You don't want to use this with the dock because otherwise you won't have enough power draw for any accessories. You might have enough for one or two, but you're not going to have enough for, like, let's say a hard drive, a couple controllers, that kind of stuff. Make sure you're using the 65 watt for that one. Like I said, I'm probably not going to use these. I'll probably test them at one point just to see. But I'm not a huge fan of having to use these. I've heard rumors that you don't actually need to have the holes for US plugs to work. So these might be fine just plugging into the wall. But I'm going to do some Googling before I just do that. Because I'd rather not hurt my devices at all, obviously. Just going to get that put away. Last accessory. Well, second last accessory. Let's look at the HDMI cable. All right, so here's our HDMI cable. It feels like an HDMI cable. I mean, it's not one of those. Oh, actually, this is not HDMI. Oh, it's HDMI one end, but it's also micro on the other end. So this is a way for you to plug it into the top of the Odin. If you need to do that, I think they're also going to include on the lights a little bridge to get from the top of the Odin into this part on the dock. Actually, go ahead and plug this into the dock and see how it feels plugged in. I'd like to see how things plug in, see if they're hard or whatnot. You know, sometimes things get a little rough. Yeah, that doesn't feel too bad. Feels solid. I don't feel like it's going to fall in when I plug it in. You know, it feels like it's well connected in there. Let's go and place it in the back and see how that feels too. Got to kind of wiggle it in there, but it gets in there good. Not sure that's the dock or the cable. I'll test out another one I have over here too. Let's test this side HDMI. That actually goes in a little further than I expected to, honestly. Kind of gets nice and flush. So you might have some issues plugging in an HDMI cable there if it's a little too recessed for you, because it is nice and recessed, whereas this one is kind of flush here. So that's something to look out for, depending on how long your HDMI stem is from the actual plastic on the cable. All right. Let's take a look at this case. So it has a little strap on it, so you can kind of tighten it, loosen it if you need to. Has AYN branded zippers. Smooth zipper action, that's always good, you know. Let's see. Okay, so actually they did include the screen protectors. Looks like they actually put that in the case, which is kind of nice, smart. It doesn't have a lot of the usual things you see come on screen protectors. Like it doesn't have, you know, like the applicator stickers and whatnot. So I'm going to do this one later, probably off camera, because I'm not very good at putting these things on, just to be honest. But yeah, the case itself looks and feels nice. It has some spot for some like micro SD cards you can put in here. Nice little net at the top, for like maybe a charger cable. It does appear to be tempered glass, actually. The actual screen protector feels good. It's thick. It feels tempered. It has some flex to it. I'm not at all disappointed by the screen protector so far. I need to get it on to see how it feels on the device. That's what's important, but it feels good. I mean, the case looks good. Let's go and check out this little clear case. It has this horrible, almost shrink wrap plastic on it, to be honest. So it's gonna be a little loud me getting that off for a second here. All right, got a few little bits left on it. All right, so this is the clear case. It's like a hard shell. It's very plasticky. Just hinges open like that. Let's see, I don't see myself using this a lot, but I will definitely try it out for y'all. See how it feels on the Odin itself. It's not bad. It's not something I would use, but I've never been really a big fan of these guys anyway. So no harm, no foul there. Yeah, 24 block. I'll definitely test out how it actually feels on the device. I'm planning on going through everything on this as much as possible. Dervik, go ahead and let you know it does not work with the screen off when it's docked. That is something that we expect it to work. This seems like they changed that at some point based on the firmware or something. There's not an option to turn that off anymore. But I have a feeling they'll get it back because I feel like we're gonna complain about that. That's something we're gonna complain about. And AYN has been very good about listening to complaints so far. I don't want us to pitchforks and torches and like that. That's not quite necessary. But yeah, I do think they'll come back at some point. So here is what we're all here for today. The actual Odin. And I did get the Pro, Cold Gray. I did not get the smell the case. Smell which case? Okay, the carrying case. Let me actually see. You know what? I'll test it out for you real quick. We'll postpone the Odin for a quick second here. Just by the way, I have a very bad sense of smell. But the clear case smells fine. The carrying case, the best way I can describe how it smells is like a I'm trying to think how to say that, like a fresh shoebox. Like, you open up the shoebox, has a nice new pair of shoes there. It's a very muted version of that, if you know what I mean. It's not bad. Feels like it would fade in time. But no, it doesn't smell bad at all. It smells decent. Yes, it's not leathery, if that's what you're asking. Yeah. Might need to layer out a little bit, but it's not bad. I don't hate it. Okay, so I got both my AYN stickers off here. About to see how the cold gray looks. So my user manual, we've already seen that a few times. I can look at that later if I need to. Not too fussed with it. But here, let's put aside for just 1 second. Let's go and look at this other cable. Do everything in order here. So we got another USB-A to USB-C, which is nice. It does, oddly enough, have purple on the inside instead of like blue, wherever you normally see. Otherwise, it feels like a good solid cable. It feels good. But yeah, here is the cold gray Odin. Oh, that feels good already. I can just tell when I touched it. All right, so here we are. We got the Odin cold gray, 5.95 inch, whatever screen it is. Of course, the SD 845, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigabytes of onboard storage. It's got that joystick feels good. I'm not gonna lie. Nice and clicky. Can I hear that? Sounds good. A, B, X, Y. Those feel good too. All right, that D-pad. Let's actually go ahead and let's look at this D-pad real quick. Everybody always compares it to the Vita. I got one right here. That feels good. Let's compare to the Vita real quick. All right. The Vita does feel a little smoother, I guess. But otherwise, this is pretty much on point. If you like the Vita D-pad, you'll love this D-pad. Just to be honest. And the buttons themselves, honestly, I prefer the Odin. I don't know if that's picking up or not. But that's the Vita. And that's the Odin. It's also a little quieter, actually. And then there's the face buttons for the Odin. And face buttons for the Vita. Honestly, I find the Vita be a little too clicky sometimes with the face buttons. The Odin has a good bit of travel. They kind of push back nicely. I actually really like that, honestly. The Odin feels really good. Home feels nice. Start and select feels nice. M1 and M2, holding it like it normally would. They feel decent to click. Like I could see myself holding it and using those easily without much trouble. Speaking of that, the grips are magnificent. They put a switch light to shame, to be honest, with the grips there. Feels real good. We got, of course, R2 and L2. That's some decent travel. That feels good. Bounces back nicely. You have L1. It feels good, y'all. L1 feels good. Let's test R1. And it feels good. So, as a lot of y'all know, L1 R1 have had issues. But mine feels fantastic, actually. Not the best, short runs in the world. They're not going to put some of these to shame. But they feel good, honestly. So let's look at the ports up here at the top. So right here we have the micro HDMI. So that's what you would use the little bridge to get to the dock on the light, is from this one to the dock over here. And then of course the micro SD slots. Mine has no fingerprints. If Stubbs is still here, I know his was fingerprinted up a little bit. Right here we have the volume buttons. Both feel nice, actually. Got a little air vent here. Of course, power button. We'll push that one in just 1 second. Look at the bottom here. You see we have a vent. We have an air intake vent here, right here on this side. This one looks to be decorative. It looks like it is filled in, which is fine. You don't need to necessarily have that much advantage on there. Especially there's not any hot components on this side. Then right here we have stereo speakers. Expect those to sound good. I've heard good things about those. 3.5 millimeter headphone jack for those of you who love wired headphones like I do. I hate Bluetooth headphones when it comes to these devices. The latency kills me. I'm not a latency snob by any means. When it comes to audio, it's not there yet. Right here we have the USB-C charging port. Let's go ahead and test it out. Make sure it clicks in nicely there. Got a lot of devices that just feel bad when you plug them in, That feels good though. It goes in all the way. It seats nicely. It's not too hard to pull out. I kind of pull it close to my chest, which it just feels better that way. But yeah, it comes up pretty nicely. So that's good. But okay, let's go and turn it on. First boot. Look at that beautiful Odin. And let's see if I can make that look a little nicer. I'm kind of have a weird setup here, as you can see by my iPhone, UI up there. I'm having to kind of mirror my iPhone to do this, but it works. So yeah, the screen, the screen, that actually looks really good. I know it's just a gray screen right now, but you can already tell it looks decent. So let's go ahead and go through this. English is my preferred language. So I'm going to get my LAN set up. Give me 1 second here. So we get a chance for me to test out the buttons as well. Oh, that feels good actually. Yeah, the tactile feedback from the keyboard, it feels good. Which means that we'll probably see some good rumble from that as well too. Also, yeah, you will like it. They're going to make sure you like it. All right. So time zone settings. I don't care if I know what time zone I'm in. There's nothing I can do with that. So there we go. Go back. R1. I'm going to go and go with the Android style launcher. I just prefer that. I've used Android in the past. If they evolve this more, I might go with the Odin launcher. But right now, it's basically just tiles. I mean, I don't see a point of using that personally. Navigation style, I'm going to go with 3-button. I know some people think I might be a heathen for that. But it just feels better for me. I like to swipe up and use the actual buttons I'm familiar with. And let's go ahead and hit start. And boom. We have the Odin. And it looks fantastic. It feels smooth. It's nice and responsive. You can kind of move around like that. Let's see. Let's kind of turn that up a bit here. Kind of hear the. I don't know if you hear that now, but you can hear the clickiness of the UI as it moves around to the different icons. First thing I'm going to do, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. I'm going to go and put it in the dock so we can see what that looks like, how that feels. I'm not going to have it plugged into a TV yet, but it'll still be a good way to see how that kind of feels and how it sits in it and whatnot, which is important. Before I do that, actually, let's go and see how this clear shell looks and see how it looks inside the case. Let's go turn the screen off for now. So this comes open pretty easily. There's 4 little tabs across the front. It's hinged on these 2 pieces. Right here, it looks like it's kind of hinged, but these are really just, I guess, for stability once you get it in the case. Let's go ahead and get it put in there. It sits there nicely, folds nicely, clicks into place. And it's not bad. It's not something I will use, but it's not bad though. It doesn't add a lot of weight. You can still easily use all the buttons, it feels like. Let me actually go ahead and jab this in here with the clear shell on. Yeah, it goes in there good. That's good. Let's go and use the headphones. Make sure it goes in there good with the clear shell on. Looks like they do have a lot of space around the edge here. Looks like they left enough space for it to actually not interfere with any headphones. But just make sure, yeah, it feels good. You also get a little assistant pop-up notification. Talk to your assistant with your headphones if you want to. But yeah. So let's see. Touchscreen feels responsive. Let's go and get rid of that. Start to the side. It feels good. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and test this out in this case. I'm going to do it with both the clear case on and off. I want to see how that feels. As far as heat goes, stuff, I don't think it's going to add any extra heat. It's got the vents here. It even has this vent opened up. Top is just wide open on it. So there's these 2 little tabs in the middle here. Not really doing much. So I don't think heat's going to be an issue, to be honest, which is good. So let's get that in there. Put this over the screen and Velcro it down. It's nice, screen safe is nice and safe. Just going to zip it up. And boom. It's in there nice and tight. It's not moving around a lot. In this case is actually pretty decent. It's nice and padded on the inside. It's hard on the outside. It's actually good. I like it. I will use the case, honestly. With the case, yeah. With the hard shell, let me see. I have a feeling we'll need to take the front part of the dock off, the little glass part. But I'll try it with both and see how it works with the hard shell. I can jump on the case. I can do that. I don't think it's going to protect the Odin, though. I don't think it's going to be that good. So I'm not going to try that. If you want to do that on your end, feel free. Yeah, as expected, it does not fit in there with the front part on with the hard shell. So let's take the front part off. Second time is a little easier. Let's see. So I don't think that's going to work. You can see it's pushing down the USB-C part like it's wanting to go on there. Actually, maybe. I think I got it. I think I get on there. I'm not sure how to tell. I guess I would have to hook it up to a monitor to really know for sure. But I do think that the Odin will dock with the clear shell as long as you have the front part off. I will test that out later once I have the dock plugged into a TV to confirm that. But it's actually going. It's getting plugged in at least, so you'll at least get able to get power and stuff. It feels like. Plug in power, yeah. Give me 1 second. Let me get a extension cable over here. Let's see. There it is. Yeah, let me go ahead and get this plugged in. My light is going to go dim for a second here, as I'm going to plug in a power strip. So I don't know how cables over here, unfortunately. Just 1 second. Okay. There we go. So just a little teaser of what's going to come up here in a minute. But you know, we have one of these, my old school blue Nintendo 64 controller. I'm going to actually test out, make sure that works. This is one I had as a kid. Last time I put my Nintendo 64 up, it did still work. So that's still the case. I'm excited about that one, actually. So let's go ahead and get it plugged in. Let's go with this. Let's go ahead and get this block plugged in here. This massive block that I cannot wait to get something better for. Like, I'm glad it's there. It's definitely good they included it. I'm just not a fan of having to use the little adapter. It's like if you're in a country where like that just plugs in your wall as is, that's fantastic. You're gonna love that charging brick. Just not for me. Let's get that plugged in there. Get this plugged in the back here. Okay. Let's see. It's not charging. So I don't think, it doesn't look like you're going to be able to use the clear case with the dock at all, based on this. Let's go and test it out with the clear case off, though, and make sure I'm not just doing something dumb, which I'm not above. Actually, I'm going to put the screen on. So I want to see how it feels when you're sliding it in there with the screen on. Or the front, protector part. It slides on there nicely. Let's see. It's a little finicky getting it lined up. There we go. Yeah, it's charging now. Yeah, so it is charging now. It will not work with a clear case on, just by the way. Let's undock it. Okay, yeah. Well, once you get it, it feels better to get it on there. That initial time felt a little wonky, but yeah, I can just put it on and off now that I feel how it kind of goes. Yeah, it looks and feels great. That's really kind of what I expected it to look like, honestly. I'm gonna go ahead and let me go ahead and take off the front cover because I want to be able to use a touchscreen. I'm going to go ahead and test out the Nintendo 64 controller. I know y'all won't be able to really see that at the angle that y'all are at, but I'll let you know how that works here in just a second. So trying to get it on without the front shell is a little more wonky, and it's a little wobbly without that front little cover piece. I don't love that, but it's not bad. I mean, as long as you're not like moving around, jostling a lot, it's not gonna be an issue. Let's go ahead and go into settings. The touchscreen is good. I'm gonna turn on the different performance modes. I want to hear the fan sounds. So that's on sport. Let me actually take these headphones out for a second here. That fan actually does ramp up a good bit. I'm a little surprised by how loud it is. It's not bad. I feel like that once you have a game going with noise and whatnot, you're not going to hear it a lot. But it's not quite. This is the max fan speed value too. I think you can hear that. It's got some good airflow going there. Let me go ahead and put it on to smart mode. Oh, you can't even hear it on smart mode. And we're not doing anything right now, so it's not going to be like ramped up. But you can't hear it on smart mode. Brightness is actually kind of crazy. That gets. I don't really know when you would use that. amount of brightness unless you're like outside. I could really probably right about there is going to be my go-to. Maybe right about there, honestly. Maybe about a quarter, honestly, and that's about how bright you need it to be. That actually, the screen is one thing I was always kind of iffy on, as you never know where these people are getting their screens from. This one's great, actually. Let's go ahead and go into settings. I'm going to go ahead and find the. Let's see. Actually, I think I need to swipe out. No. I'm trying to get to. Let's see. Did I swipe over? Okay. Until I figure that out, I'm going to go ahead and go back over to the Odin launcher, because you can easily get to the Odin settings over there. So I'm trying to get to the joypad testing so I can test out the Nintendo 64 controller on the dock. But when we're getting there, let's go ahead and make sure these LEDs light up. And as I say, those look nice. Side LEDs. Well, it looks pretty nice on this gray, honestly. Yeah, those look good. There's a video output mode here. You can change that between HDMI 1080p or DisplayPort over Type-C 4K, 60 frames. This one, the bottom one, is going to be what you're going to use if you want it docked from down here. The top option is if you want to use the top port. It's actually kind of nice. Bottom option equals bottom port, top option equals top port. Please remember that way. Disable auto sleep when HDMI DP is connected. That's nice if you want to be able to keep like a stream going and stuff like that. Recently, let me try. I'm working with a very kind of goofy setup, to be honest with you. It's kind of spur of the moment, doing the best you can kind of thing. Hopefully that's better. Let me stand for just 1 second so I can see my screen on my phone. Let's tap that. Hopefully that kind of blew it out, didn't it? Let me move it over here. No, that's worse. Okay. It's good there. Let's rock with that. Hopefully it's not too bad on y'all's end. You can see what's kind of going on. Let's see. Someone is asking me to test and see the charger plug goes all the way into the charger port. Mike, do you mean on the dock? As far as that goes? So it does go in all the way, it seems. Let's actually look at that real quick. So there's the dock. It kind of pushes itself out of the way like you do with the Switch dock. And yeah, that does go all the way in there. It feels good. So let's go ahead and look through the rest of here. We have different audio output profiles. We have bass and treble. I'm going to leave on bass. So like, let's see. I think you're calling this, Mike. In which case, you can see a little bit of metal there. But it's not bad. And as far as when you dock it, it goes in just all the way too. That's about standard, honestly, from what I've seen on most devices. There's still a little bit of metal there. Yeah, it goes all the way. If I understand you right. So let's go ahead and pass back open. USB, so USB connection notification. They actually added this in at a later point because they found that it wasn't really notifying you when like a. Oh, I mean this one? Yeah. This is the one that came with the dock, the one I just tried. This is the one that came with the Odin itself. Let's go and plug that in. And yeah, it's, same thing. You see a little bit of metal there, but nothing too crazy, nothing outside the norm. And that's about how much I see on my iPhone, to be honest with you. As far as L1R1, they feel fantastic. No problems on my end. I really think that was just a bad assembly worker or something. Maybe they're having an off day. Who knows? I don't think the L1R1 is going to be a big issue. It is big in the fact they need to get it fixed and need to get it fixed fast. But I don't think it's going to be widespread or anything like that. Let's see, stats bar. You can show network speed. That's kind of cool. You want to see network speed. Might want to use that if you're doing like a lot of streaming and whatnot. Let's see, we have a few different modes here. ABXY mode. I can do Odin or Xbox. Xbox would flip the ABXY. Oops. Give me 1 second now. Let's do not now. Uh-oh. Well, crap. Let me go and delete that. Give me just 1 second, okay, y'all? I'm gonna pause this part. Let's go ahead and blank that out for y'all. Sorry, I'm doing a real kind of spur of the moment sort of setup here. Let's see if that gets it back. Yeah, sorry. I'm streaming from my iPhone. My iPhone ran out of storage, so I'm trying to fix that real quick. I'll be back as soon as possible. Yeah, like Sub says, hydration break. Look, go get some water. Let's make sure we all move around, stretch your legs a little bit. So I plan on doing this until I get set up for the most part. If you want to stick around for all that, y'all are welcome to. I'm just going to kind of show off as much as I possibly can in one long sitting. I think we are back. I'm just going to leave it not recording. As it'll be on YouTube anyway. I can just get any video I need from there. You'll see a little extra of the UI there, unfortunately, but at least it will not kick us out randomly because it's not using any storage at all. Okay, so let me actually minimize this, get this on my way so I can see what's going on in the chat. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and get this turned back on. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So ABXY mode. You can switch between ABXY or ABXY, depending on if you want to do Odin or Xbox. If you're wanting to do like Xbox Game Pass, anything like that, switch to Xbox probably. Otherwise, if you're using like Nintendo emulation, Odin's gonna be the best way to go for sure. L2R2 mode. I'm going to put this on both. I've seen a lot of people have issues getting emulators set up with having it on analog. Analog's gonna be great for like, GameCube. I think Dreamcast has analog. It's been great for a lot of things, especially like Xbox Game Pass, of course, too. Digital, so analog has to travel to it. Digital is just a plain click. Both lets it choose based on the application. Let's go and do the calibration and test. I'm gonna go and do a gamepad test. I don't really want to calibrate it. I feel like they do a good job out of the box there. Let's go and test these all out though. L1, pressure's nice and clean. L2 feels good. R1, R2, A, B, X, Y. M1 and M2. Registering here as well. That's good. Left feels nice. Good amount of travel. Clicky. And same for right. Select and start feel good too. D-pad, everything is registering there. D-pad up feels good. I know someone had issues with the D-pad up, but mine feels nice. Home is looking good too. Yeah, everything tests good there. I want to go ahead and redock it. We won't be able to see this because of the angle, unfortunately, but I'm going to go ahead and plug in my Nintendo 64 controller. I want to see how it picks up in that gamepad tester. Because if you look, there is a Z and a C button in the gamepad tester. I think it has to do with the Nintendo 64 controller, if I had to guess. We don't really know. It says port 2 gamepad is connected. So I'm going to assume that this GameCube over here is port 1. Left Nintendo 64 is port 2. This one's probably port 3. Let's just go ahead and see if that's port 3 or not. See if I'm just making stuff up or this makes sense. I don't have a GameCube controller, so I can't test them all. Port 3 gamepad is attached. So yeah, this is port 3. So on this, that's probably port 4. So that makes sense. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, left to right. To fix the stuck pixel mic, if you look on YouTube, there are some videos that you can run on the device for like an hour or so, if not more, that will oftentimes get rid of stuck pixels. Oops, wrong screen. I want joystick. I want the gamepad test. And okay, this is actually really cool. You can't really see it. You kind of can. I'm moving the joystick, and the left is moving right now too. It feels really good. That's a little disappointing. You can probably fix that in emulators on the fly, but the C buttons are seen as the right stick, just kind of natively. I'm saying that's probably something you can fix though. R1, L1, both work fine on here. D-pad's looking good. A and B feel good. And Z is seen as R2. Okay, so it still leads me to the question of why there's a Z and a C on the gamepad test screen. I don't know if it's there for just some reason, but honestly, this is exciting on its own though. The fact that my 20-year-old Nintendo 64 controller is plugged into this dock and is working just without any issues is just incredible, honestly. Scott, that's my kind of thought too, but even then, the GameCube doesn't have L2 R2, so they probably have the Z mapped to R2 as well, if I had to guess. It would make sense because Nintendo 64 controller, if you change this to a stick, it's really the same as a GameCube controller, really. I mean, it has the X and Y, otherwise it's the same. But I'm excited about this though. I'm excited that this works. It's one of the things I had doubts about as far as how well it'll work. I'm going to test it into I don't have a game controller. I'm going to pick one up at some point. I can't wait to test this Nintendo Switch controller out inside of an actual emulator. That's what I'm looking forward to right now. Let's go ahead and undock this so we can get the screen back on camera. And we'll start getting some stuff set up after we finish looking at the rest of the settings here. I like to look at settings. I like to just know what they all do and whatnot. So let's see. You had joystick calibration. I don't really need to do that. We have joystick dead zone radius. So you can actually set your different dead zones. Some consoles have different dead zones, especially like Nintendo 64. And so setting that manually is actually kind of nice. So the analog trigger dead zone travel. You can actually go in there. You can set that to it's set to default to a 15%, which is pretty nice. So it means that you won't actually feel any movement on that until you get to about 15% press, and then it'll start feeling the rest of the way. Let's go ahead and get out of this white screen here, because that's just blowing everything out on the screen. Virtual mouse, that's kind of cool. If that works how I think it is, hold down 1 or 2 keys for 1 second to get shortcut keys. Okay. Let's do that. I want to see how this works. So, yeah, moves around like a mouse. Click things. If I push R2, it actually disables it. So that re-enables it. So you can actually turn that off on the fly if you want to as well. Once you have the shortcuts, I'm going to probably go ahead and change that. That doesn't seem good for R2, but now that I know what it does, I'll know that next time. I'm going to turn that off. Let's see if it turns back on. It does. Okay. Let me actually go ahead and clear out this. Let me go ahead and set to M2. Or M1, sorry. So if I hold on to M1 now, it'll actually turn on virtual mouse mode. That's something that might be handy if you're like using Moonlight and you want to be able to navigate your screen and you're sitting away from it, like your couch on the dock, and you have your 8-bit do controller, and you need to be able to get to something there. You can quickly turn on the mouse mode and move around that and get to that through Moonlight. There's a lot that they included that in there. Last options, direct your Google services. We tried that last time with stubs. That didn't really do anything. I'm going to wait and see if I need that or not. So I'll go in there and do that. Setup wizard, go back to the initial wizard, do all that again, and enter factory test. I'm not going to do that on camera right now, maybe later. Curious what that does, but we'll get to it at some point. So if we pull out, actually, trick, R3 pops that out. So tells you that in the thing, but if you R3, boom, or sorry, L3, then R3 pulls out this one. You actually have both of them at the same time. That's kind of cool. Not really sure why you would want both of them at the same time, but the fact you can, it's nifty enough. So I have 6 gigs of my 8 gigs of RAM free right now. It's running at 30 degrees Celsius. Let's see. I should go ahead and get this paired up. I am curious to see how the Bluetooth works. We'll test it in game at some point too, but let's go ahead and get it connected. Pair new device. I'm going to use my 8-bit do, I can't remember how you say it, Pro 2 controller. I've been using this thing a good bit with my tablet in preparation for the Odin, and man, it feels good. It looks good with that SNES gray too. That cold gray, they look good together. Let's see if this connects or not. There it is. Pairing. Pair. And now let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Oop. Did I freeze up there? My video just froze. I don't think y'all can see anything, can y'all? Okay. Let's see. Oh. Well, that makes sense. Okay. So, that's dumb. Yeah. So my phone might fall asleep Since I'm actually recording video, it's going to be a little dumb. But I'll try to tap it every now and again so it just doesn't do that in the first place. Pegasus installer, I will not be using that. I personally prefer to use Reset. And also Pegasus likes to install and set up like RetroArch for you. I like to do that stuff myself. The Pegasus installer does. Pegasus itself does not do that. But the installer that Dragoon Doris made, it does install a lot of the emulation stuff for you, which is nice, but it's not really my cup of tea. As far as Bluetooth lag goes, it seems fine. Honestly, noticing lag in the menu at least. We'll get to actual gameplay at some point, but Bluetooth feels good. Let's go ahead and go over here. I think it was in System Apps. We can get to the Play Store. Okay. Yep, right there. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in off camera. The LED lights will probably drain the battery a little faster, but honestly, I don't expect them to have a huge amount of power draw there. Give me 1 second here. I use a complicated autofill password for my Gmail account, so I got to pull that up real quick so I can type it in. Okay. So we are into Google Play. That's going to probably blow up the screen. Nothing I can really do about that, unfortunately. Let's see. Cool. Yeah, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and install Reset, which is my front end of choice. Reset collection. It's not showing that I bought it. So let me go ahead and see if using this register Google services will do anything for me. Okay. Did I just remove the Play Store? Okay, let's go back to the other layout. Can't find that. Okay, enter my spec now. Good. Let's see if it shows my purchase now. It does. Okay, cool. So you might need to log into the Play Store. Once you're logged in, go to the system settings, or the Odin settings, sorry. Odin settings. Scroll down through here. You'll see an option for register Google services. That will give you a go to website to register button, and that will actually sync up all the Google services and whatnot. So now that I've done that, it shows that I have purchased Reset Collection and is ready to install. So let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, it is a tough choice choosing between the different options here. Actually, it reminds me. Let me go ahead and I'm a little weird when it comes to this kind of stuff. I like to go ahead and pop the SD card into the device at least once to make sure everything works good, and then I start loading it up. So let me go ahead and do that, and I can start loading up my SD card while I finish setting up everything else on this side up. Looks like it goes in that way. Let's test it out. No, doesn't this way looks like. How you playing this game? Trying to figure out which way it goes. All right. So contacts towards the screen. So whenever you're plugging yours in, the contact on the SD card goes toward the screen. Let's see. Wish there was an easy way to get back to the Google style of the screen here. So it doesn't seem like the swipe down works in this mode, which is a little weird. There we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and set up my SD card here. Yeah, sorry, I got that. We're going to use that as portable storage because that's what you want to do with SD cards. If anybody ever tells you to set your SD card up as internal storage, tell them they're wrong and they're doing you a disservice because they are. And there are some cases where you might want to use as internal storage, but just don't. You know, there's probably a better way to do whatever you're trying to do. All right, let me go ahead and put this on my computer. I'm going to start transferring some files over. Let's get this out of the way. Sorry for the bumps there. All right. One thing I did is that I'm using a 128 size SD card. I went ahead and created a backup of another 128 size card that I can just kind of copy over to this one. So it shouldn't take long for that to happen while I'm getting everything else set up. Let me go and get that started real quick, and then we'll get back to playing with the Odin. Okay. Copy. And so I do like to put the SD card in first, like I said. It's like when you do that, it kind of fills out some folder structure for you. I also like to do that before I plug it in my computer, just to make sure everything works nicely. Some people don't, some people do. You don't have to by any means, just my preference. Okay, so let's cupping over. Let's go ahead and finish getting some stuff installed here. Let's go back to Google Play Store. So Reset is installed. Next is, of course, going to be RetroArch. Let's go ahead and just go with the basic one here. Should be fine. And I do know that they recently did some updates to Dolphin that are supposed to make it run a lot better on the Arduino GPU in here. So I'm going to go ahead and download just plain old Dolphin. I'm not going to go with MMJ, MMJR, anything like that. I want to see how this works first. If I need to, I'll go to MMJR, but I prefer to use, what's there out of the box if possible. What else do we need? As far as standalones, I mean, of course we need Aether. Let me go and get Aether SX2. There it is. This one from the Play Store. If it ends up not working great from the Play Store, I'll go ahead and grab it from the alpha on the website. But I'm trying to stick as much as possible to easy, quick setup from the Odin. You don't have to push things back and forth, blah, blah, blah. DuckStation, I like to use the core for that. So one thing I like to set up is I actually do like to set up auto sync. Let me actually go and find that. It allows me to sync up my Google Drive saves from my PC and my Android-based emulation devices. And that allows me to use my saves and save states between the two devices. Let me see what the name of this actual program is. I think it's AutoSync, or maybe AutoDrive. Out of my XD Plus, I'm going to check that real quick and see what that actually is called. Home. Let's see. AutoSync, yeah. Is it Drive Sync? Okay, Drive Sync. I mean, a little the brightness, yeah. Well, let me try to lower the brightness. I think it's just because I'm in the Play Store right now. I'll fix it in a second. Once I get done with this. Okay, the same one. That's the same one. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so I do like to use this call. It's called Drive Sync or Auto Sync. It lets you sync up your files between different devices, and that lets me use my save states between different devices, which is super nice. So the reason I got to that point was that I like to use everything in RetroArch because it just syncs up more nicely that way. Let's see. Let's get that actually a little brighter. It should be good. So yeah, DeckStation is great. And I technically could set it up in AutoSync too, since I have the Pro version. I can do more than like 1 or 2 folders. But just, sake of ease, I like things to be simple. I think it's be straightforward. If I can get all in one emulator, that's my preference, honestly. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to download. Dolphin, Aether, RetroArch, Resets. I think that should be about it, honestly. Let's see. That's going to take a minute. Let's go and do this. I'm going to go ahead and manually load up some ROMs onto the internal storage, so I can go and start testing some stuff out. So it's going to pop up. It's going to ask you. Sorry, my phone went to sleep again. Give me 1 second, y'all. Next time I do this, I will have a better setup, hopefully, because this is obviously not super ideal, but it's working. We're getting there. Let's go and get that out of the way. So when you plug in the Odin to a computer, it's going to pop and say data transfer or file transfer. File transfer if you want to move stuff over. Pop up on your computer. I definitely plan on filling my internal up with like GameCube, PS2. There's bigger files that aren't great for an SD card, but should be pretty good for an Odin for sure. Our good friend Scott here did send me some, I think some wide hack N64, some widescreen hack N64 games. So we go ahead and grab those and move those over first and foremost. When I say he sent me these, I meant he sent me the patch so I could then patch it myself on my legally backed up ROMs, obviously. Yeah. Also, one cool thing, it does show up on your computer as Odin. That's kind of nice. Manufacturer is AYN. So they actually, fill it out to where it will pop up on your computer and make sense. I like that. A lot of these devices, you plug them in, it's just some random name or some strange whatever nonsense. But this one, tells you what it is. That's all wrong folder. Let me go ahead and get my folder structure built out here. Let's go ahead and add these. Okay. I'll leave that plugged in for now. Let's get in the way of anything. Swipe up. Let's go ahead and go to games. Let's add here. I'm going to go ahead and add all of these. That's actually a pretty easy thing to do too. Like I'm not a fan of the Odin launcher itself, just because it's too simplistic overall. It's not something I really want to use, but it's easy to use. It's functional. It's not bad by any means. Oops, not that one. I want to go to RetroArch. Okay, gotcha. That makes sense, Scott. Okay, if all let it calm down, let's go ahead and go and change my menu driver to XMB, like everybody loves to see. Let's go and save current config. Let's see. I guess I could just close out. Makes sense. It's fine. ATV launcher is better. I actually do plan on using ATV launcher eventually. I'm actually go ahead and download that here in a second. Yeah, and they're not. It just feels better, honestly, in my opinion. And especially if you're using on the dock, you're gonna want something that's easy to navigate with the controller from the couch without using the touchscreen at all. And ATV launcher definitely does that. Let's go ahead and if I remember how to get to the cores. Core download, that's right. I'm not going to pull stuff, so I'm not going to go ahead and install every single one. I will go ahead and install the ones that I like to use. I like to use Gambit for Game Boy and Color, MGBA for Game Boy Advanced. Let's use Mupen GLES 3 for Nintendo 64. Let's see. I use SNES 9X. I know it's not the best, but it's what has run better on my lower end Android devices. I'll probably eventually update. I'll probably change something else on this more powerful device, and then sync that up on my computer when I get a chance. This all comes back to me using save states that are synced between different devices. Let's see. Let's go do a flycast. Yaba Senshiro, I need to actually go ahead and get the pro version of that. That's one thing I meant to get. I'm going to get to that eventually. I like to use DuckStation sometimes. Also, sometimes I like to use PCSX. So I'm going to go ahead and grab both those. PPSSPP is one I need to grab two from the store. So let's go grab that real quick. Honestly, I didn't expect it to be an issue, and it's not. As far as like fingerprints go, I know a lot of people have had questions about the fingerprints on the black, and there was some on the gray. No, there's nothing. I'm sure if you sit here all day and use this all day and get a little sweaty or snack while you're using it, you're going to see some residue around the buttons and whatnot. But I mean, as of right now, it feels good. There's no smudges, fingerprints, any of that kind of BS on there. Let's go ahead and get back to home. So this isn't. In order to get to different categories, you can click the left stick, and then you gotta kind of go over left into that section to get to different categories. Then you gotta unclick it to get to over here. It's not bad, just not necessarily what I would like to have to do. I definitely prefer something more like, and of course I could just add everything to one section that would kind of fix that. That's why I like the ATV launcher. The ATV launcher lets you do that more seamlessly. Let's go load content. Let me first get some BIOS files in here. I don't know if I'm going to need it or not. I'd rather have them than not, need them. Let's go ahead and put them in the same spot. There already. Let's get that open up here. Origin-related RetroArch system. Okay. Cool. Okay, so that's coming over now. My BIOS are. That's going to be about a minute for this to transfer over. While I'm waiting for that to happen, anybody want me to go ahead and look at me loading up some ROMs you want to see specifically? Any games on particular systems you're looking for? Actually, this is moving over more than I thought it was going to. Let me cancel all that. Let's fix this. Outrun for Saturn. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all, Damien. Give me 1 second here. I'll put that on the list of things to try out. Actually, Star Fox Adventures, I actually have fond memories of that. When we were at a friend's house before I had a GameCube, and it's one of the games he had, and actually was fun. Enjoyed it. So we can definitely try that one out. I'll need to make sure I have the game. I think I do. Let's go and just grab these. GameCube WWE games, okay. Let me go ahead and pull up a notepad so I can start a list of these games. So we have Outrun, Saturn, Star Fox, GameCube. Let's see. WWE, is that WWE Day of Reckoning? Is that like the actual name of the game? That's on GameCube. Let's see, Outrun for PS4. Not PS4, PSP, sorry. I can't guarantee I'm going to get to all of these, but I'm going to try to get as many as I can. So if you have any other requests, let me know. I'll do what I can there. 1 and 2, okay. Gotcha. I think I have all my BIOS on there now. Yeah, I got the Damien. I got Outrun for PSP and Outrun for Saturn. Let's go ahead and move those over while I'm at it. Let's see. Let's do. Outrun, where you at? Hey, Damien, does it need a different name on Saturn, or is it just plain Outrun? Okay, so I get Ages Outrun. Got it. I might need to find that one. In my box of old games somewhere. But I'll get it for you eventually. Let's see. So some GameCube requests. I'm gonna get those put over here real quick too. Star Fox Adventures and WWE. Just a heads up, I am horrible at wrestling games, but I'm going to do this for you. It'll be fun. Okay, JP regionally. I should have a one game, one ROM kind of set up here. But let me do a quick search and see if it picks up that way. Maybe it's just under a weird name or something. Outrun. No? Okay. I'll find it for you, Damon, at some point. So we got also Shinmu. So I've actually been, but I think that's actually on my SD card, so I'll probably just wait for that to come over on that end. It's not an issue. I just got to find it. I thought I had most everything here, but probably a little hole in my collection there I need to fill out anyway. Okay. Got a few of those up here. Let's go ahead and you take a look at this Nintendo 64 games. I actually am curious to see what it looks like with the widescreen hacks and whatnot. Let me go ahead and really am not liking this. Okay, that's actually better. Cool. Okay, so that takes you back to that. And you're going to change it back to the this one. There we go. Okay, I feel much better here. Let's see. I'm using standalone DuckStation from Google Play Store. So there are some differences between the standalones and the cores on like RetroArch. There's usually not a lot depending on the developer. I do know that Stensnik, how do you say his name? The dev behind DuckStation, he doesn't really like RetroArch, so he's not really keeping the core updated as much as he is on his standalone. So as far as DuckStation goes, standalone is probably going to be better for you. But as far as MGBA, that should be fine. You should be able to use either one there. Let's see, I got storage, emulated. I'm not sure I get to here. There we go. Okay. Wrong button. Let's do some Diddy Kong Racing. Y'all can see how bad I am at this game. Hopefully not too bad. Let's go and turn the volume up. Okay. Those speakers sound good. I'm happy with the speakers, honestly. Let's go and get this FPS photo up here. There it is. Yeah. Okay. What's up, Scott? Enable widescreen game. Okay. Let's see if I can find that. Computer. Should be under options, yeah, I would think. I wonder if it's not an option in RetroArch, maybe. Okay. Let's do adjusted. I guess that should be fine, I guess. Within the game. Okay, got it. Notice there's a game option as well. Quick menu, let's resume. Ooh, I forgot you can't use D-pad on Genesis 4 games. Oh, me. 1 second here, sorry. Let's restart that. Ooh, also, my video stopped again. 1 second, y'all. All right. Yeah, that also pisses me off. I like to use D-pad for menus, but I forget that Nintendo 64 games don't always use D-pad. But yeah, we're good there now. Widescreen, let's go ahead and set that to on. Let's see if that sticks. Oh, nope. I messed something up. I bet I need to use that other widescreen setting over here. Let's do wide stretched. Nope. Let's just do standard then. This one must rely on just the inbuilt widescreen. No? Okay, we'll figure this out real quick. Diddy Kong. Yeah, it's not sure. Try stretched. I don't know how much I can see. Let's combo this up to 1080p. That should be good on that end. Is there a 469 option you saw? Sorry if I can't see what I'm actually looking at here. I'm not seeing any kind of force option. Nah, not on this one at least. Let's see. Make sure I'm not missing anything in this other area too. Okay. If this doesn't work, we'll just have to kind of roll with it. Let's restart it and see if that does something or not. Like we've done some changes. Nope. Let's go ahead and okay. I might need just to record gameplay and microphone audio. I think you can. You might need to use like a third party. But yeah, that's still doing something I've seen done before, at least. I might have seen it download Movement at some point, but I'm going to go ahead and test out one of the other ones since this one is giving us some issues here. And if this next one doesn't work, I'll just go ahead and download Movement and we can just figure it out that way. I'm not against downloading the standalones. I just really prefer RetroArch because it's one native ecosystem kind of thing. That's just me. Let's do Mark R64. Okay, so this one is not widescreen yet. Let's go ahead and check the settings again and see what it looks like. Let's go ahead and do 1080p there, 1080p there. Let's go ahead and do widescreen stretched and see what that does for us. Okay, still not working. Let's go to test that a little bit to see what it feels like in the game. Then I'll go and download Mupen, and we can actually test these out in the widescreen hacks. So I am actually curious what this looks like. I like the idea of widescreen hacks in these older games. But it's just maybe something that's native to the actual standalone emulators, which is a possibility. Like I said, there are differences that you will not have between standalone and RetroArch. Just because different developers have different priorities and whatnot. Oops, I forgot about the timing on that. Yeah. Joystick actually feels really good, honestly. You know? Oh, wait, how do you... I guess it would be Z? Or is it just B? Trying to figure out how to use my power up here. I wonder if it's not matched, maybe. I don't know if y'all can hear the audio on this thing, but the speakers sound pretty good, honestly. Like, I really have no complaints so far about the Odin itself. Let's see. Can y'all hear that, or is that too loud? Let me know. Gotcha. Yeah, so it's a little loud. Honestly, having that loud is a little loud for me, to be honest with you. So I turned down a little bit. But no, it runs smooth. It runs great. I'm not, a pro Mario Kart racer. I'm also trying to do like 3 things at once. But it feels good. It's responsive. When I had it at max volume, it sounded really good and clear to me. But it was so loud that you could kind of feel it vibrate the speakers. But even then, with the vibrating the speakers like that, it still sounded clear and rich, which actually is pretty impressive. But usually, once you get that speaker shake, usually you lose a lot of the clarity in the volume. But this it sounds great through and through, honestly. Let's go and close it out there because I want to go ahead and grab Mupen standalone. I'm going to see if I can get that working with these widescreen hacks. So I bet those would look really cool on the Odin, honestly. Let's see. FCC is what I want. I'm going to go ahead and buy the Pro version because I'd like to support these guys who put in all this work. Let me get my password real quick. Yeah, actually, I did download that one. I just need to get a game on there, and I'll test it out in here in a second. I'll use that for Star Fox Adventures after I get some of these widescreen hacks tested out here. Because I do like to use the official versions of emulators if I can. I'm not against using like MJR or stuff like that. But for example, like MJR is no longer under development, so you're not going to see any improvements there or anything like that. Whereas like Official Dolphin is still under development, and they're actually just released a new build that improves performance on these GPUs, the Odin GPUs in the Odin. So I definitely want to try that out. I want to see how that works. I want to see if it works as good as one second. Okay. The downside of using a phone to do this. Next time I do one of these, I'll have an actual camera. I have a webcam, but it's just a Connect Crappy Logitech webcam. That does not look great, to be honest. And also, it was like flipping the video, and it just wasn't. It wouldn't work for this like we wanted to. I'll go ahead and select a file for now. Let's see. Odin, ROMs, 64. Let's go ahead and do Mario Kart again. Let's resume. Actually, minimize this. Let's see. And Scott, you said you had to set this up in Lupin. Is that right? Screen sailing. Okay. You see how to get to that? Let's go. Okay, there we are. Let's go ahead and settings, screen scaling. Maybe sit back on the base settings, display. There we go. Let's do that. I'm going to do that on top right so I can see what the difference is between the two. Yeah. Okay, I think that should get it. Okay, yep, that looks good. Yeah, so here we have some widescreen Mario Kart 64. And one thing we have noticed is that the FPS counter that AYN provides seems to be a little low, honestly, which is kind of a good thing, is you're actually getting better performance than what you think you are if you're using that. So for example, like right now it's saying 29 on this side and it's saying like 30 over here. But usually the AYN side is actually lower than the built-in emulator side. Oop. Well, that was bad. So if you're trying to check and see what your FPS is at, and you're using the built-in one from AYN on the Odin, you're actually probably getting better than what you think you are. Yeah. So Mike, it depends on the different emulators, but most of the more common big name emulators actually do have retro achievements built in as well. DuckStation being one of them. I think MGBA, at least on desktop, has it. But you're right that if you do want retro achievements, your best bet is to use RetroArch through and through. Also, you can just log into the retro achievements thing once in one place, and it's just done. It's so convenient. But the HUD looks good. It's not stretched like it says, Scott. Yeah, that looks quality. Yeah, the joystick feels really good actually. Like it's responsive. You can see me move around the screen a good bit. And that feels really good actually. I like that. I'm gonna go ahead and push a little bit though. Let's go ahead and switch over to some GameCube. Now, I might need to check and see. I might need to actually grab the one from the website if this is not the correct version. Let me actually check that real quick and make sure I'm on the correct version that has that fix. Let me tap my camera, make sure it stays awake. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to check, make sure I have the correct version of Dolphin for this new fix they have. Let's see. Let's go to download. All right. I want Android version. Let's see. Does anyone know what the version number is of the one that was supposedly fixed? So post it in the chat for me real quick. Okay, I think I show you see. Let's see. Okay. I think I found it. Let me make sure this is the right version I have. 5015445. I'm actually behind a good bit. Let me go ahead and download this newest version. Let's see. Somebody's going, yeah. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and install this different version of Dolphin real quick here. That's supposed to be a lot better. So if you're doing this on your end, the one that is on the Play Store is not the most recent version. It's you're going to want to go ahead and grab the one that Notley builds to get this fix. Just going to put that there. Now, let me see if I have a file browser. I do have a file browser. Good. Downloads, Dolphin, continue install. Let me minimize this so I can see the chat again. Oop, where'd it go? There you are. App not installed. Why didn't you install it? That's not what I want to see. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into settings. Opus, you want to see Perfect Dark and or Conquer? I could probably do that. I'm not going to play like a ton of any one game. Just want to get to kind of as much as possible. And also, of course, work through all these little random issues we're seeing here. Like I'm able to get this version of Dolphin installed. Let's try it again. Another in dev mode. Sometimes that helps. Let me uninstall the other version. Maybe it's conflicting because of that. App installed. Okay. Yep. So you can't have two versions of Dolphin installed at the same time. That makes sense. I'm not sure. Yeah. Okay. When game settings are not close settings. Okay. Gotcha, Scott. Yeah. I have used Android for emulation a few times here and there, but it has been a while, and definitely not on anything this powerful. So any tips you have for me, I actually do welcome them. Otherwise, I'll be sitting here kind of thumbing through things and whatnot. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's see. We need the game settings. Okay. Let's add. Let's go back over here to Odin. Yeah. So Brandon, that actually was the case until I think yesterday. Supposedly they updated the official version of Dolphin to work better with this specific kind of GPU. So it seems like we actually should be able to get really good GameCube running on here without having to use like MMJ or anything like that. Let's go ahead and make sure everything's set up. Let's see. We can go and bump the internal resolution up to 1080 so we can go and push it, see what it looks like at 1080p. Let's see. We need that on. Let's do. Why am I like missing this? I'm trying to find the control settings. Guess we can just see if it works or not. Okay, that's not going to work. Hopefully the game icon. Okay, gotcha. Thanks, Scott. So do I need to do that outside of the game? That makes sense. Okay, let me actually get the emulation there. Okay, that makes sense. The game settings, GameCube input. Okay, cool. No, I did not want that. So that's enabled. Okay. Let's kind of go through here real quick and make sure everything's set up right. Should be fine. Still not seeing like an actual like controller mapping though. Am I missing that somewhere? It's over here maybe. Okay, that's weird. I guess it's working now. Okay, so find it to A, B. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I got it. It just didn't make sense at first. So let's do that as Z. Start. Control stick up, down, left, right, and C stick. Okay, actually, I need to flip that. Let me change Z to be this. D-pad. Okay. I think we're good to go. I'm going to let it back up. Let's go ahead and hide the overlay. Let's see. Double all. Boom. Okay. Okay, so a little stuttery in the menu, which is a little weird, but we'll see how it feels in the game itself. Also, I do have it cranked up to 1080p, so I will, turn that down if I need to. I'm not expecting this to run everything at 1080p right out the gate without any tweaking. But like this is basically stock Dolphin on the new version. Actually, you know what? I think I am actually. Let me double check. Good looking out. Let's see. I am high performance, and let's make sure that I have the fan on. I think getting down that menu is a little difficult sometimes. I think it will be better with the screen protector on though. Check that on later. Okay, so it's very stuttery. I'm gonna go ahead and turn down the resolution on there. I saw that at some point. Where did it go? There we go. I'm gonna turn that into. I'm gonna actually just do native for now. I just want to make sure that it just works. Period. Before I really do anything else, I guess. Okay. That's something better now. I think that initial screen was a little rough for it. I'm actually doing things now. Okay, gameplay feels good actually. It took a second for it to like kind of clear up like some stutters, like probably some like pre-shader caching kind of stuff. But no, this feels good, y'all. I definitely think I could probably play with this some more and get some better performance overall, just by like tinkering. But as far as like just using this like as is without much like fooling around, it feels good. It's running a solid 60 FPS. I'm bad at it, so I have never played this game except when I was like really young. Um, I don't actually remember this part at all, honestly. But no, it feels good. It's also responsive, like move around. It feels nice. I think I'm supposed to try and just use like dragon heads or just like shooting. I guess I don't really know. I know health bar. I'm not taking any like. Okay, I killed one. Cool. Yeah. I do know one big issue with GameCube in general is that it has a lot of like shaders that has to kind of load up and whatnot. Usually, once those are loaded into the cache, it works just fine. So a lot of these games, you might see some initial stutter up to that cutscene and opening up there. But once you're actually into the game, getting around, moving around, it feels good. Yeah, it's like right now we're back to some stutter, but now we're back to 60 FPS. I'm actually looking on this time straight on, and yeah, that actually looks really good. It's hard for me to kind of see the angle, but no, it looks nice. Oh, error occurred. Let's see. I don't know what any of this means. CPU thread is too fast. Okay. Let's see what happens. Okay, that closed out. Probably need to do some tweaking, honestly. A lot of these games aren't going to work just out of the box, but it was working great. I think I can get that working much better if I tinker with it for a bit. So I'm happy about that. Let's go ahead and try these WWE games real quick. We'll see how much tinkering I need to do outside of like individual games. Hopefully not too much. Okay, so far as this is loading up, it sounds good. It looks good. There's not any stutters or anything weird like that. So the FPS is showing us a little low. But honestly, to my eyes, looks fine. This is probably what it looks like on the actual GameCube, honestly. The audio is great. No stutters there, which is usually a good sign of we're running smoothly, obviously. Okay, I'll skip that. But John Cena. You know, why not? I'm not very good at wrestling games, but you know, here we are. We're gonna have some fun with this one. Hopefully, whoever asked for this is still here watching. Got some stutter there. It looks like this is kind of just an intense part of the game where it like loads up all the stuff, and now it's kind of back to normal. So that's why there's that cache kind of loading up. It is in a high performance mode. It has the fan on smart mode as well, and it is staying cool. Like it's hot where my hands are, just from my hands just being there all day. Like right now we're at 50 degrees Celsius, which is 25 degrees off from where it starts throttling. CPU right now is at 40%, memory's at 41%. I don't have a GPU monitor right here. I might do CPU float at some point to see what everything looks like on there. I mean, like right now, it's running like a champ. This is a device to beat, you know, honestly. I'm impressed. The feel, like it just feels sturdy, feels good. It looks good. Sounds good. I mean, look at this lights. Those lights are pretty slick, honestly. So gameplay is a little slow here, actually. I expected to kind of maybe pick up in a minute. It's probably just trying to like, you know, compile stuff and whatnot. GameCube is kind of just weird like that. If it does that on Windows, sometimes, you know, it'll have to take a minute to like kind of get things going. Yeah, as it's going on, it's getting a little better. If you were to tinker for a minute, you could probably get this running full speed without issues, to be honest with you. And you know, MMJR might be your answer here, honestly. You know, but even now, this isn't bad. The music's stuttering, which is kind of annoying. I don't know what I'm doing gameplay wise, but no, it feels decent enough. You know, tweaks, different version of Dolphin, whatever. You'll be off to the races in no time. I'm going to stop this because it's just not my jam. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like shaders compiling. Like if I wanted to sit here and tinker with that, I could probably get it working good. I'm not going to do that right now because I'm probably not going to play these games a lot outside of just demoing them here. But seeing that they work is pretty great. My SD card is actually done loading up too, so I'm going to move that over. And we're going to see some reset collection on this thing, which I am excited about because I think it's going to look really nice. And if we have that, we can also look at some other games too. I have a lot more games on this SD card. Let's see. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and unplug it from now from my computer. So I don't think we really need. I want to come and see how the battery does. So I'm going to keep it unplugged from my computer. If I need to move stuff over, I will do that. I think we're good for now on that end. Let's see if we see Dreamcast and dummy resolution. Yep, I plan on doing that. Scott. So Afron, I just got it, so I'm not sure how much improved versus previously. By doing that per Stubbs and Thor, the new version of Dolphin, that new build, it improved a lot. Is what they said. So yeah, I think we're going to see Dolphin get better and better as we go through. Okay. Let's go ahead and close all that, so I don't need to know that. Give that a second. While that's going through, I'm going to go ahead and try to find something else real quick. Let's go ahead and do. All right, so this is Reset Collection. It is, in a lot of our opinions, the one of the best front ends out there. Honestly, it feels good, looks good. If I had taste, I'm sure it would taste good too. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and do this one. That's good. I'm gonna go up to my external. Go to my ROMs. Let's go ahead and choose 64. Choose current folder. Well, that should be fine. Honestly, Opus, I like the stock ones. It feels good in the hand. It rests nice and easy. You know, a lot of times on these handhelds, you're like using your pinky to kind of hold it and kind of support it that way. At least I find myself doing that a lot. With this one, it feels good. It feels natural. Even compared to like the Hori split pad on the Switch, it's not quite as good as something like that, but it's close. You know, I'd really like the Hori split pad. I think really hit the nail on the head as far as the contours of like the grips and whatnot when it comes to handhelds. But this is the best of like the third party options out there. You know, it's gonna blow the 552, the XD plus, all those the XP out of the water and whatnot. Um, just got a nice little lump there. You know, nothing too crazy, just enough. Call of Duty Mobile, you mean? I can do that here in a minute. See, I'm not sure what you're asking there, Danilo. Well, let me fix my phone real quick again. There we go. So I think you're asking like when you can expect to receive your Odin, if that's what you're asking. I got the Odin Pro Cold Gray with the super pack, including the dock and whatnot. I got it August 24th. If I'm not mistaken, was when I put my actual order in. I was order number like 2600 in that area. And I just got it today. If that gives you an idea of when you might be able to expect yours to come in. If it hasn't shipped yet, it's not going to ship until after Chinese New Year, which ends on the 15th. Oh yeah. So yeah, we got a full COD Mobile coming in tomorrow. So yeah, I can it does take a lot of download because it is a large Android game. I'll start that up here in a second after this gets done. Once this gets done, I'll go ahead and go to the Play Store. I'll grab COD Mobile. I'll grab Xbox Game Pass. And I might grab a few other things too, like Moonlight, and let those install while we're going through some of these other games. I also want to show off, Reset is, looks real good on this, But of course, I also tend to move over a lot of games, so it takes a little bit to script through everything. So we're just going to like one system for now and kind of show that part off. Gotcha. And also, as far as that joystick mode, is that inside of COD, or is that something you set otherwise? Okay, gotcha. In the game mapper, okay, gotcha. Thanks. I'll look into that when we get to that point. As far as showing to Brazil, I also I can't say how that's going to work out. I don't remember if I've seen anybody say they've gotten theirs. I think one person actually had theirs run into an issue, but I can't say for sure, so don't quote me on that. This is Reset though, so got all my Nintendo 64 games here. Of course, I had to let's get Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie. Victor has one of the way. Cool. I heard someone request Conkers. Let's go and pop that open and see what that looks like real quick here. Okay, nice. Glad I know that they're actually coming in, yeah. Okay, this is a widescreen Conkers. Bad Fur Day. And this is using... Yeah, exactly. So they do give you a link, but I don't think it ships through like DHL. So I think that's what he meant by needing an intermediary. It's not as straightforward as like ordering from like straight from IgG, and you don't get the same experience the rest of the world does necessarily. There's a few countries that are a little different on that end, but I think it's more of an Indiegogo issue more than anything else, to be honest with you. So we're getting some slow down here a little bit, but menus seem to randomly have issues. I don't know why. They just do. Yeah, I think that's right. I think they do go SF. I think I've seen that somewhere. So Opus, this one's for you. This is Conkers in widescreen. It looks pretty good so far. It definitely sounds good. Okay, so we're getting some slowdown started there during that cutscene. But also Conkers is a notoriously hard to run game. And this is using RetroArch without any real settings, except for, of course, turn on widescreen hacks, which is going to eat up some resources. Also, 1080p output. So if I dial this down, this probably will run full speed easily. Let me actually tune that a little bit. Let me see what I can do with the widescreen hacks off and just see how high I can crank the actual resolution. I'm curious to see what that looks like. Let's see. So I have it. Let's go ahead and set original. Let's start trying to get a thing. Okay. This angle's a little weird. There we go. Let's keep all this kind of standard. Well, I did have the widescreen on as well, which of course uses more resources. I also haven't done any tinkering at all. And this is also in RetroArch. I'm sure I'm actually curious to see how much better it performs in the standalone. So we'll actually test out here in a second once I get done looking at all this settings here. That'll be a good test, honestly. Let's see. Glide should be fine. RSP. Okay. So let's go back in. Actually, I think I need to restart with the settings changed. I haven't really tried on any kind of shaders yet, but I imagine so, honestly. I'd be surprised if we couldn't. Oh, I guess you can't skip this. We'll see how this does. Depending on how this goes, I'm going to go ahead and switch to Mubin standalone and see if that works any better. So I'm curious to see if there's standalone versus, RetroArch has any issues there. RetroArch does, of course, have overhead. Seems like it might be running better so far, though. Can't remember when it actually started stuttering, but I think it was close here that started stuttering. Okay. Yeah, there's some stutter back there. Yeah, I could sit here and tinker all day with this and get it working fine, I'm sure. But I'm not going to push all through that misery, to be honest. So let's close out and let's see how it runs in Mubin, just so we can kind of see that together. Let's see, Mubin. F0 on GBA? Okay. We'll look in a second here. Let's go ahead and add folder, disk, ROMs, Nintendo, which one is which? 64. Yep, there you go. Allow. This is on high performance mode, yeah. Like I said, I'm not really digging into the settings here. So if you're looking to play one single game and you want that game to work and you have the time to put it into it, it's going to work fine once you get to the right settings and whatnot. I'm just not here to do that in particular. Not on all these at least. So I'm going to just start up Conkers just as is in Mubin without any kind of tweaks or anything like that and see how that works. But this is in performance mode. This is with the smart fan speed, which means it's kind of adaptive. Sport's kind of loud. I mean, it's not horrible by any means, but you can hear it for sure. If you're blaring the game, it's not going to bother you at all. It does have haptics, yeah. I was actually using it earlier when I was typing in like my passwords and whatnot, and it felt good. Like, I know that sounds weird, but like it felt good on the haptics. I thought I had my controls set up here, but it doesn't seem to be. I need to check that. I mean, it also has rumble too. I haven't felt rumble yet, but I don't think I've played a game with rumble. Okay, there it is. Or like this one, I go in the settings and set rumble pack, but I'm just not going to bother with that. I'll find a game eventually that has rumble and I'll test it out. Okay, so this is where it's been stuttering. As soon as it gets to the chainsaw, or not chainsaw, but him sitting on the throne, that's when it starts stuttering. So let's see what it does on this one. Okay, yeah, gyro too. Yeah, I knew it had gyro, but yeah, you're right. It can be used in Wii, which actually is pretty cool. I plan on trying that out at some point too. Okay, yeah, Mubin, perfect. No tweaks. It's just running. So yeah, definitely impressive.
Well, there I am. Conquer the king of all the land.
If you mean the difference between this and RetroArch, yeah, it's a huge difference. Like I said, usually you can get the same amount of quality out of RetroArch if you want to tinker with it long enough. But as long as you're fine using a standalone, I mean, go for it. Honestly, it's gonna work. It's gonna work better out of the box for sure.
What a day that was.
you know, I don't think much have buyer's remorse on this. And if you have buyer's remorse based on what I was doing before, it's probably because I wasn't tinkering enough to make it work as expected. But I think anybody who ordered this will be happy with it, honestly. The only way you'll not be happy with it is if you were expecting perfect PS2 without any tweaks, you're going to be disappointed. But with enough tweaks, you can get PS2 running great too, honestly. GameCube. If I put MMJR in here, I'm sure it'll run fantastic. I'm just not going to bother right now. Yeah. I'm happy so far, honestly.
Hi, you've reached various place. I'm not available to answer the phone, obviously. However, if you leave your name and number,
yeah, exactly. It is half the fun, honestly. Yeah.
Hi, Mary. Hello? Mary, is there a pickup? Hello? Oh, anyway, look, I'm gonna be a bit late. Well, look after the guys, and they're off tomorrow to some, I don't know, fight some war somewhere. Anyway, I'll see ya. Love you.
Also, I said I was going to do this earlier. I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to go and test out these headphones that came with the Odin. Show how these sound. Okay, cool. Okay, so good news is that the buttons on the earphones will work to control the volume. So that's nice. They don't feel great in my ear, but I tend to use, I'll actually show you what kind of, so this is what I usually use right now versus this. And this feels much better in my ear, but this isn't bad though. Sound quality is actually fine. It's not going to have as good as sound quality as these guys, because these guys are decently expensive earphones at least. If you're in a pinch, you need some earphones real quick. These will actually do, honestly. I kind of threw them out. I kind of assumed they'd be bad out of the gate, but after trying them, they're not bad. I'm also curious. I want to see how it feels playing some games with this clear shell on. Just I can let y'all know how that feels, in my opinion, at least. Let's go and do that real quick. So there was some slowdown there for a second at the end of that cutscene, but nothing bad. Also, Axryn, I'm with you there. Tinkering in RetroArch is a pain. There's so many menus, so many little things you can tweak. You know, do you do a global change? Do you do a core change? Do you do a game-based change? There's so many different things you can tweak on there. It's almost exhausting. Charge for the shell line? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's nothing in the way there. It actually has a decent gap around both the charging port and the headphone jack. So as long as you don't have some crazy big like plastic piece on the end there, you can easily charge with the case in there and whatnot. Okay, let's see how Conker's actually feels. It's running about 20 FPS, but I think that's not abnormal for this game.
Feels so good. Feels sick.
Oops, did my video freeze again? Sorry, guys. If that's yeah, it did. My bad. Okay. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay. Sorry, I'm back now. So, Congress feels good. It's running at 28, 30 FPS here. It looks good. I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just walking around right now. Believe it or not, I never actually played this game. Oh, low power mode. I'm gonna need to sign off here in a bit. We'll go at least till my battery dies, but also have food on the way too. But we'll keep on going for a little bit here. And next time I try one of these out, I will have a better setup. I expected my webcam to work fine, but it ended up being kind of crappy for this specific kind of use case. So I kind of tweaked around my phone to be able to use it a little bit here. It worked in pinch. Let's see, what other requests do I have? Call of Duty. I'll see if I can get that on there, but I don't know if I'll have enough time with the my phone dying here. I'm gonna try to get at least past this part and see what the actual gameplay feels like. There's like a weird like artifacting down here in the bottom left-hand corner in Conkers. Looks like maybe it's just like a shadow or something like that. That's not quite rendering properly. But it's not noticeable or bad or anything like that. Okay, so I can't from there. Oh. Also, one thing I think using the shell and trying to get into menus is not, which is not terrible. When I was doing it at first, it was kind of iffy, but taking your time, it actually feels pretty decent. So if you're using the clear shell, you might see some issues getting into the swipe menus and whatnot, but it's not terrible. Let's go ahead and see if I can try COD on this guy. Yeah, I'm sorry about the frame rate. It looks smooth on my end. If I notice any kind of choppiness, I'll make sure I point it out. There was a point, like when we was talking to Scarecrow, where it had kind of stuttered a little bit, just down to like 15 FPS for a second there. But it came right back up to 30 and ran fine in actual gameplay. I think the stream's a little delayed, maybe. Not sure what else on y'all's end. But yeah, so I think I'm gonna have to stop here sooner than later, at least just because my phone is just not the best option for this kind of setup. One thing I do actually want to try though, if I have time, I'm installing Call of Duty, so we'll see that in a second here if we can. While it's installing them, I'm going to go ahead and pull up Xbox Game Pass. Okay. Let's see. Okay, still waiting for Call of Duty to install. It's going to take a minute. Let's see, I think Yay! Way to go, Opus. That's actually fantastic news, dude. I'm trying to think what else I want to try. Actually, let's do some PS2. I have a few PS2 games on here. I'm just going to do optimal safe defaults. Just kind of see how that works. I'm going to go ahead and import a BIOS here. See, I put that in RetroArch. Let's see. Let's see. Let's go ahead and pick this one. Okay. Also, it's my first time using Aether because I don't have a phone that could use it before now. So we're going to see how this looks and works. Okay, so it maps it, both those. Okay, makes sense. R3. So wait, okay, makes sense. So left up, right. Okay. Cool. Let's go ahead and load up Jack 3. Notice a little BIOS found. I must have set the wrong BIOS file in there. I'm not sure which one it expects to have. Let's see, where do I set that at? App settings, probably. System, let's see. BIOS, there we go. Icon list, let's go ahead and go back over here. Let me actually check and see which BIOS is best for this. So a few different options I'm on. Let's see. We're gonna try this one out. I'm using the Odin with the clear case on. Feels pretty good, honestly. I said I'm not a fan of these kind of cases in general. But it doesn't hurt anything by any means. Okay, that's cool. Let's see. I want to get rid of the controls on screen. Let's see. Kind of like, okay. Let's just turn that down to 0 there. And also, I want to be able to see what my frame rate is. I think that's going to be in here somewhere. Show VPS, show speed. All right. So we got Jack 3. It's running at about 30 frames per second right here. We're going to see it clears up after this a little bit. Oop. Phone died again. Sorry, guys. Actually, I think my phone's dead. Nope, it's not. It's getting close, though. All right, 1 second, y'all. I gotta restart.
There must be another way. Your protest was overruled. This dark eco-fake is dangerous. Now drop the cargo. This is an outrage. I am outraged beyond words. Although I do have something to say. Not everyone agrees with this ridiculous decree. Yeah, we want a recount. To join you. Actually, we are not that outraged. Farewell, Jack. Stay out of the sun. Drink lots of water, if you can find it. Go back to the city, Dax. I'm sorry. The council is too powerful.
Okay, back for now. Probably won't last too much longer, just based on the odd recording situation I have. But right now, Jack 3 is getting a little skippity here. At least in the default settings. Let me go ahead and see what I can do to make that run a little better. I'm going to go ahead and see, I think, I'm trying to remember how this is supposed to work. So let's do a mild underclock. That's already a bit better, honestly, just doing a mild underclock on there. Okay, that's like 100%. Well, dipped a little bit there. That's running at like 50 FPS, but it looks good so far. That's just with like the one mild underclock going on. And also, PS2 game, high performance mode, we're sitting at 60 degrees Celsius, which is not bad at all. CPU's at like 46%, 40% in that area. Memory's at like 44%. GPU is probably the choke point here, honestly. And even then, once you tinker with it, it should be fine. So I might have to sign off. So I'm going to actually check on Call of Duty real quick because I know somebody was asking about that. Don't know if this is going to actually install fast enough to do anything with it. PS2 seems fine. Tinker a little bit based on each game. I know Jack 3 is a little harder to run, but it seems to run fine with just like a mild underclock. If you throw heavy underclock and then do the frame limiting and whatnot, it's going to run great. And I expect that for most PS2 games, honestly. I actually am curious to see what the screen mapping software looks like, so I'm going to try this one out real quick. And then this might be the last thing I do for tonight. My food just got here, so I'm going to go get that before it gets too cold. But I'll do the screen mapping here first. Okay. We're going to do low resolution just for now so I can go ahead and get it going. I don't want to have to download another pack of stuff. Like I said, I was looking at this device. I'm just happy about it. It just looks and feels good. It sounds good. I mean, this is what a lot of us were like just waiting for in this scene. We had devices that were close. We had the we had the XP that came out that seemed like it could have been good, but it just fell kind of flat on its face, in my opinion, honestly. 552 has a great screen. It plays decent enough stuff, but the price to performance ratio just isn't there. RP2 Plus, if you don't want to spend Odin money, RP2 Plus I think is still the way to go overall. But even then, it has some things that's lacking. Like it doesn't have R3 and L3. And the right stick is still that slider. It's analog now, which is nice. But let's see. Okay. So let's go ahead and test out the screen mapper. And let's see what we can do. So I'm going to actually try to set this down so you can kind of see what's going on if possible. So we're going to go ahead and so this is what Stubbs was talking about, where you need to set up the right joystick for FPS mode. Faust, yeah, it does have a protective shell. If you order the sewer pack, it comes with it. It's not the best, but it's not bad by any means, It's not something I plan on using, but it's nice, yeah. Let's see. Let's adjust view mode, maybe. Just real quick, this is impressive in my opinion. The amount of options you have just for the key mapping is kind of nuts. So Stubbs mentioned to set it to FPS mode. I'm not seeing that offhand. We'll get there when we need to. I don't really know what buttons to set yet, so I'm going to leave it as is right now. So we're going to click out of that, and then I should be able to move now with that and look around. Okay, that didn't work. So it looks like I need to actually change that up. Key adapter. So let's go ahead and click on that again. And it doesn't like the original mode. Let's try adjust view mode. I feel like that's what we're looking for here. So let's go ahead and exit out of that. Okay, yeah, that actually feels good. Yeah, it is being recorded. As far as on YouTube, it'll be a video on YouTube, yeah. So you can go back and watch it. I'm not recording it outside of that just because of my awkward setup. Yeah, I'll definitely be a video on YouTube you can use as much. Look at later on if you need to. Move to target. We do need to do that, and that's why something we can actually attach to Scott's sheet he's working on. Depending on how that works out, we can maybe like links to it on the sheet, or I think they said you can share it from the Odin. We'll need to see how that actually works. We haven't looked really into that too much. So let's see. Okay. So it's just shooting for me. That's cool, I guess. Okay. Let's see. Oh, that's not showing my phone. 1 second. I can't even cancel that on my phone. There we go. Okay. Also, I think we're done for the night at this point because my phone is about to die. My food is here, and yeah. No. So I did get dialed in there. It looks like you have to use view mode, which seemed to work fine. I tested it out a little bit there. But yeah, I'm gonna step away. I'm gonna sign out for now. It has been fun getting to look at this with y'all. I hope to be able to do more once I have a better setup. But right now this is working fine enough for what we're doing here. But yeah, I will see you guys later, and y'all have fun.